We received instruction from our client, a citizen of this country, who is concerned on the security situation in this country, considering that the country is heading to an election that is very emotive, that has seen a lot of violence, and one of the contestants in that election is one presidential candidate, Jimmy Wanjigi. We have filed a judicial review petition before the Judicial Review Division of the High Court of Kenya, where we are seeking for orders called mandamus on the basis that one Jimmy Wanjigi is alleged to be in possession of several guns and ammunition in his possession. We have information from our client that at one time, Honorable Jimmy Wanjigi was sold more than 14 guns. These are guns that are of high caliber, military guns, guns that are normally in the KDF or military, or guns found with the terrorists. 7 guns were subject of a case before Justice Mativo, before Justice Murima. That aside, that is not why we are in court. We are in court that Mr. Wanjigi has other 7 guns. These 7 guns were bought illegally. These 7 guns can be able to demolish a whole population. He also has more than 700 rounds of ammunition, the bullets of high caliber in nature. George Kinoti, as the DCI, is sitting on his job when Kenyans' security, the security of the country, is at risk. So we've come to court to seek for an order for mandamus to compel one, Mr. George Kinoti, the current director of investigations in this country, the current head of Interpol, the whole of Africa, to take action, arrest that person. If there is sufficient evidence, arraign him in court tomorrow, so that the security of Kenyans is assured. It is a serious indictment on George Kinoti that a politician can have guns of the military nature. Guns that, if somebody has such guns, are we not likely to see the same person having an armory or importing tankers, military hardware? If it was an ordinary Kenyan, like my client, if he was found with a mere knife, a kitchen knife, normally arrested by Kinoti and jailed. Why is there double standard? Kenyans who work with small pen knives are arrested as having weapons that are dangerous. But here is somebody with serious guns, with more than 700 rounds of ammunition, and according to the police reports, those arms and those ammunition are more than the ammunition within Nairobi Central Police Station. If an individual can own weapons more than a Central Police Station, how safe are Kenyans in this matter? We expect the judge to move with speed and issue an order mandamus to serve George Kinoti to do what he's supposed to do, because he can't be removed from office. This is a serious abdication on his duty. He must perform his duty. If he's feeling he can't do that job, let him tender his resignation. Other Kenyans take up that position to secure this country, especially this time of election. So that is the petition that we have filed. We have annexed enough evidence to show the type of guns, the caliber, the magazines that he has, and those guns must be accounted for. We are not talking about the guns, subject matter of the petition before Justice Murima that has led George Kinoti to prison. We are talking about other guns in possession that have not been accounted for by one Jimmy Wanjigi. The rest can raise that issue.
Thank you. Now, Jimmy Richard Wanjigi is not a man that is very new to controversy. It will be recalled that beginning the year 2017 to yesterday, the 29th day of November 2021, he has been battling in court over either the revocation of his license or his possession of firearms that are believed to be illegal. Now, as Senior has put it quite clearly, the judicial review application that has been filed before the Judicial Review Division touches squarely on a number of guns, 7 to be specific, that were not mentioned or were not subject of controversy before Justice Mrima and Chachamuita when he first delivered the ruling in 2019. Now, when matters are mentioned about persons with licenses possessing firearms that are deemed to be illegal, then it is then incumbent upon the Firearms Licensing Board to move with speed. The last time the issue surrounding the license or the firearm certificate of Mr. Wanjigi was in question, Justice Mativo nullified the revocation or the order, the decision by the board revoking Wanjigi's license. But this was done under the understanding by the judge that Jimmy Wanjigi's license was actually revoked without his participation. And so the applicant in court is actually calling that since the decision by Justice Mativo was rendered, the Firearms Licensing Board has not moved. And then it is now incumbent, and this is why we are calling upon the assistance of the court, to compel the board to rally themselves to invite Mr. Wanjigi for a vetting process that is going to lead to the revocation of his gun. You will recall, Mr. Wanjigi was first employed as a police reservist. That is when he first began his job. And during his term as a police reservist, he was dismissed from employment because of his misuse of these firearms, because of his constant behavior of intimidating members of the public using guns. And now, in view of the circumstance that we find ourselves in, or the evidence that the client has brought to our table, is that this is a man who is yielding guns of, that civilians do not normally or ordinarily possess. And therefore, it is now a question of the public interest, a question of the national security against an individual's desire to possess firearms more than the government that is charged with the responsibility of protecting its people. And especially in view of the fact that we are approaching an electioneering period, it is important that civilians in possession of firearms must be well vetted. If people have a history of misusing firearms, the board must do that which it's supposed to do. It must revoke procedurally so that we do not have instances where Jimmy Wanjigi finds a loophole in their process and returns back to court. So the call is simple. We call upon the Director of Criminal Investigation, Mr. George Maingi Kinoti, to move with speed and do that which he was sworn in to do, including the Inspector General of Police. And secondly, it's a call for the board, the chairperson of the Firearms and Licensing Board, to do that which they are supposed to do. Vet this person. If they are satisfied that Mr. Wanjigi, as history has told us, is unfit to hold firearms, then the license should be revoked, it should be quashed, and then we should not have a situation where citizens are afraid for their lives. Thank you.
Thank you.